Well, thanks for being here. Now let's go straight to the questions.
Okay, as always, if we could just have one question per organisation, please. If you could keep your questions short, we've got a couple of volunteers, so if you could give the microphone back to them after you've asked the question, just to try to keep the pace up, and I'll try to get through and around as many of you as possible. Okay, first question. If we can go, please, to third row up in the centre. Hello, the floor is yours.
Right, Gianni, thank you very much. My name is Juliet Bilwa from TV3 Ghana. We've said
Congratulations to Ghana.
Thank you very much. We've said a lot about the World Cup with 8 months to go for the Qatar World Cup here. I want to know from you, what sort of legacy do you expect this World Cup to leave?
Thanks for the question. Well, I think it will be a great World Cup. It will be a unique World Cup. In terms of the legacy, I think we are already witnessing the legacy of this World Cup before even it started. In terms of the social impact it had for people, for workers here, for human rights in Qatar, in the whole Middle East. This will be very, very important, and this is one of the legacies of this World Cup. Another one, which I think is equally important, is we need occasions, especially now, to bring people together. We need opportunities to unite the world. The World Cup is uniting the world, and let's face it, we are here in Qatar, we are here in the Arab world. There is a bit of a biased view by some part of the world, by part of the Western world, where I come from, towards the Arab world. Now, I think that this World Cup will be an opportunity, and I said it earlier, will be an opportunity for the Arab world, for Qatar, the whole Gulf region, to present itself to the world, to show to the world that actually, that there are people living here. And you can come here and you can feel safe and you can be safe. And of course we are not the same. Of course we have different ideas, different principles, different values maybe, but we can live together because we have to live together in this world. And this is a great opportunity for the Arab world. Equally, it's a great opportunity for the entire world to come to Qatar, to travel here, to travel in the countries around Qatar, in the Gulf region, and again, to meet a new culture, to meet new people, to witness that there is a history, that there is a culture, that progress has been made. We were discussing about it earlier in terms of human rights, and that we can live and celebrate together, and especially live the same passion, which is football. This brings me to the third legacy, which is about football itself, and this will be a fantastic World Cup. It will be a fantastic World Cup because it will be a unique World Cup. Never ever, I think, in future we'll have such a compact World Cup where 8 stadiums are within 50 kilometers. Not only fans can watch more than one game per day, but more importantly, there is no travel for the players, for the national teams. They are here, and once they are here, they stay here. And the World Cup, which is the biggest event in the world, football event, is actually played in the best season. So the players don't arrive at the World Cup at the end of a very tiring, exhausting, especially European season, and then have still to play the World Cup. They are on the peak in November, December, on the peak of their form, on the peak of their fitness, and I'm convinced we'll see also technically the best World Cup ever. Thanks.
Thank you very much for your question. Next question, please. We'll go to the front left here. Good afternoon.
Hi. Bom dia, Martin Fernandes from Global Brazil. What do you plan to do with Club World Cup? Are you going to play in the old format? Are you going to do a new one with more teams? What's your plans on Club World Cup?
The more the merrier. Well, when it comes to the Club World Cup, we had taken a decision to have a new Club World Cup with 24 teams being played in, should have been played in June, July 2021. Because of the pandemic, we agreed to postpone it in order to leave the place for the Copa America and the Euro, who had to be postponed from 20 to 21. Otherwise, we would already have had a new version of the Club World Cup with 24 teams, with more participation, with more inclusion. This is still the plan. We did not yet fix a new date for that, because there are more important things in life, the pandemic, so we had to deal with that. And now the new Club World Cup is obviously part of all the discussions about the new international match calendar as of 2024. In the meantime, we have our current Club World Cup with Palmeiras, who reached the final a couple of weeks ago against Chelsea in Abu Dhabi. But we are still looking forward at a new version of the Club World Cup. I think everyone agrees, starting from the clubs themselves, that the current Club World Cup is not exciting, is not inclusive enough, and we need to make it more inclusive, more exciting, and we just have to find the right places in the calendar. I know as well that the calendar is congested, that the calendar is full, but at the same time, you know, we are speaking here about a FIFA competition which includes the world, and maybe we can find 1 week here or there to play a competition which will help football development all over the world. Let's not forget that in all continents except Europe, the Club World Cup has a very big importance, and we need to see what kind of format we can bring. I remember even CONMEBOL had made a proposal a couple of years ago when we decided finally on the new Club World Cup. So we put it as part of the discussions, and you know, if we don't find anything better, it will be a 24-team Club World Cup in the months of June every 4 years.
Thank you very much. Okay, next question. If we can go, please, we'll go to the front row on the right here. Again, sorry, I should have said if you could say your name and organisation. I forgot to say that.
Gabriele Marcotti, ESPN. Mr. President, 4 years and 2 months ago, we were starting, actually no, less than that, 4 years ago and less than 2 months ago, less than 4 years ago, we were starting a World Cup in Russia. Your first World Cup as FIFA President. So many things have changed, obviously, in Russia and Ukraine with the things that are going on. Can you reflect a little bit about that personally? Because you often talk about the role of football in bringing people together. FIFA also made a decision that might have been seen as a political decision as well in suspending the Russian teams and the Russian national side. Can you talk a little bit about FIFA's role? Because there's other examples around the world.
Yes, I'm very sad, of course, for what is happening. I'm devastated as everyone for what is happening. I have to say that as FIFA President, I have been confronted in the last few years with situations as well in other parts of the world, with conflicts in other parts of the world, which I have to say, living in Europe, I was not really, you know, they were happening, but you were not really living them so closely. Since I'm FIFA President and I'm traveling all over the world, I've visited over 150 or 170 countries, I don't know exactly how many. And you see people suffering, and you see that, you know, the communities, the international communities don't maybe do what should be done. And you see that a ball like that, given to boys and girls, to children, gives them a smile, gives them a little bit of joy. You see what impact football can have. So whilst I'm sad, and I said it as well at the Congress, and whilst, again, you know, we can speak about the power of football, and it has certainly a power to bring people together, it has to bring people together, but we cannot, sadly, we cannot solve conflicts ourselves. We can contribute. We can hope that they will be solved and then contribute to bringing people together. When Israel signed an agreement with UAE and Bahrain, we were with the Israeli FA, with the Bahraini FA, with the UAE Football Association, and they play together. And of course this doesn't solve the issues and the problems which are much bigger than that, but it gives at least a little bit of hope and understanding. So, as I said also at the Congress itself, my plea, and I'm really asking and praying for that, to everyone who has a leadership position, contribute to peace, to stop hostilities, to not escalate, to dialogue. This is the good thing about football, that it brings people together. Now we had to suspend Russia and Russian teams from participations. It's not an easy decision, of course not, because it's about people who love football like everywhere else. But we had to take that decision, and now we have to look forward and hope that the hostilities can stop and we can bring a little bit of peace. I mentioned it a few times, sorry for just adding this as well. If we look at the last century, who are the people who made really an impact in humanity? Mandela and Gandhi. Both of them had probably millions of reasons to be violent, and they decided to take another route, to go towards their enemies and to do it in a peaceful way. Well, I think football should be about that, bringing people together, breaking down barriers of all kinds, and creating some understanding between people. And I also believe that, we need to stop being hypocrites, looking at the realities of the world, and learn, and I said it before as well, to live again with each other, changing a little bit our mindset, being a bit more tolerant, a bit more understanding, and going towards the people rather than escalating in violent behaviors. Thank you.
Okay, next question. We'll go second row, mid to the end, second row, please. Thank you.
Jamie Gardner from the Press Association. A couple, if I can. Why do you feel it's right that the Russian Football Union are here? And does FIFA have any plans to suspend the union as well as the national teams and clubs? And you talked in the Congress speech about the old FIFA being a toxic organisation. Would the current FIFA regime have accepted a bid from Qatar to host a World Cup?
Well, the decision on Russia has been taken around a month ago, I think. The Russian Football Union has appealed that decision at the CAS, so we are waiting, of course, to the result of the CAS deliberations in this respect, and then we will see what comes next. As I said, I sincerely hope that the conflict can end, and we can again, and we will be there the first day to play football again, because that's what I think is needed in these countries. So Russia as a football union, like any other federation, has not been suspended as such by FIFA and has been participating in this Congress as well, because if we don't have occasions to bring people together like a Congress, then we rather stop and go home. When it comes to the Qatar World Cup, decision has been taken now 12 years ago. I was far away from that, from the FIFA happenings in these days. We have now put in place a different bidding process, which I think is also pretty unique. And I said in the past, bulletproof. I hope it will continue to be bulletproof because it's open, it's transparent, it's professional. There is a ranking. You know why you vote for somebody when you vote for somebody. This is what has happened for the Men's World Cup in 2026 and for the Women's World Cup in 2023. We still see that even in these decisions there are some, how shall I call them, political votes rather than factual-based votes. That's probably part of the game. When it comes to Qatar, decision has been taken. We organize the best World Cup ever here in Qatar. And in any case, you know, we shouldn't go back, we should go look forward, and we should go look at what has happened, because all the changes that have happened in this country in terms of human rights and workers' rights and so on, human rights would not have happened, or certainly not at the same speed without the projectors of the World Cup being there. And you know, when I hear some of the comments by some people who say, well, the World Cup shouldn't go there because the Arab world and they have no tradition. Who says it? The ball doesn't belong to anyone. The ball belongs to everyone. We are all the same in this. We should go to Arab countries. Of course, we should go to Eastern Asia countries. We should go to African countries, to South American. We have to go everywhere. This is what football is about. And I'm looking forward to the next 100 years of World Cup. I will not be president of FIFA that long. But to have World Cups being played all over the world. And if it's in countries who never have hosted them, even better.
Okay, next question. If we can go into the middle row, please. We'll go over here, please. Gentleman, row 3. Thank you.
Hello. Thank you very much. My name is Gary Al Smith. I work with Joy FM in Ghana. And thank you, Mr. President, for your congratulations.
Congratulations again to Ghana.
For our country.
And to all other 29 who qualified for the World Cup.
Obviously, yes.
Or other 28.
Other 28
plus Ghana
as well, yes. Where I come from in Africa, we are very used to FIFA coming down hard on us for political interference when it comes to decisions that have to do with football and things outside football, basically governments and football federations. It was quite interesting for us in Africa, and I'm sure for many people around the world, to see FIFA so swiftly, so quickly make its stance known on Russia and declare that what was happening in Russia was a travesty of justice when it comes to human relations. But we don't see that in many, many other places. I don't want to name names. And in just before I'm just asking the question, you mentioned the word hypocrisy. I want to know, maybe on behalf of the rest of the world, have we reached a watershed moment where from now, from today, anywhere in the world there is a conflict where one nation is invading, hitting at another nation, FIFA is going to act, or this is going to be only for Russia and Ukraine? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the question. And FIFA is acting everywhere in the world. And we have to treat the same situations in the same way and different situations in a different way. We have to analyze every situation in the same way. You are saying we were acting swiftly. Today I was hearing we were acting slowly. Of course, you cannot do it right, and any decision you take is maybe the wrong one. We don't know. We will know with time. What we do is analyze every single situation, every single case on its own merits, and then, based on our conscience, we try to take the decision that we feel is the right one in these particular circumstances. Now, of course, there are other situations of conflict. I said it. There are other countries suffering. Let me give you another example, not about a war, but about refugees, because today Europe is confronted on a big refugee crisis coming from Ukraine, and the whole of Europe opens its door to welcome the Ukrainian, and that's great. Well, a few months ago, we helped a couple of hundred Afghani, mainly women and girls, with the help of Qatar, to come out of Afghanistan, to come to Qatar. Well, we were begging all countries in the world to open up their doors to these Afghani girls and women. Very few opened their door. Albania did. I have to thank Albania. Albania, out of all, opened their doors. Not the richest country in the world, but they did. Because they know what it means. They had suffered themselves, and they were happy when Italy welcomed many Albanians some years ago. Many other countries didn't. Now, how can you treat a girl or a woman differently depending on where she's coming from? It's not possible. But it's like this. So we need to work and continue to work and continue to speak up and continue to convince people to try to be a bit more tolerant and understandable.
Okay, 2 questions left. We can go up to the very back, please.
If you have any football question, it would also not be too bad, huh?
Yes, good afternoon.
إبراهيم الفريان المملكة العربية السعودية نبارك له نجاح الكونغرس. كيف يرى حظوظ المنتخب السعودي والمنتخب المغربي والتونسي في كأس العالم ومشاركتهم إن شاء الله في دولة قطر؟ شكرا.
Afwan, but I didn't hear the question. Did you hear the question?
I'm terribly sorry, sir. Could you repeat it, please? There was interference on our... would you mind repeating
Somebody heard
the question?
It was not...
sorry, sir.
إبراهيم الفريان الإعلامي السعودي. كيف يرى حظوظ المنتخب السعودي وكذلك المنتخب التونسي وكذلك المنتخب المغربي في مشاركة كأس العالم المقامة في دولة قطر؟ شكرا.
Yeah, let me say I'm very happy that Saudi Arabia, Tunisia and Morocco have qualified for the World Cup. Mabruk, Elf Mabruk, with Saudi Arabia being next door and with the big Moroccan and Tunisian communities here in Qatar and in the whole region, plus all those who will travel from all over the world. I think we'll have a great event here in Qatar. Now let me tell you one thing. We had the Club World Cup. We were speaking about the Club World Cup earlier, and the semi-final between Chelsea and Al Hilal from Saudi Arabia was a very, very tight game. Now in Chelsea, at the kickoff of the match, there were 0 English players. 0. In Al Hilal, there were 7 Saudi players playing, and the match was fought until the very last minute, and if Kepa wouldn't have made some incredible saves, I don't know how it would have ended. So the quality of football in Saudi Arabia, in Morocco and in Tunisia is exceptional, and with the push of their fans, I think we are speaking about doubling the size of the stadiums to fit them all in. I'm sure they will do great results, because together with Qatar, they are all playing at home here in the Gulf region. Shukran.
Okay, if we can go, please, to gentlemen. Final question, second row on the right. Thank you.
Sí. Muy buenas tardes, Gianni.
Hola.
José Félix Díaz de Marca.
No te conocí con la...
Aquí. Yo te quería
Felicidades a España. Bueno, ya.
Gracias. A ver si repetimos lo hecho en Sudáfrica. Te quería preguntar...
Hay 31 más que quieren lo mismo.
Pero en Sudáfrica ganó solamente uno.
Gana solamente uno,
Exacto.
correcto.
Gianni, yo quería preguntar, el nuevo calendario está muy cerca, el 2024 se presume que va a haber un calendario. Hoy has comentado lo del Mundial de Clubes y también el estudio del Mundial cada 2 años, la Copa del Mundo. ¿Nos puedes decir algo más de cómo está ese estudio, reuniones, comparaciones sobre ese calendario en el 2024?
Yes, on the international match calendar, as you know, the current one ends in 2024. We have been, and I said it earlier, I hope you have carefully listened. We have, of course, been making, on demand of our Congress, 88% of the Congress asked us last year to study the feasibility of a World Cup every 2 years, amongst other things. We did study that. We found out that it's feasible and it would even be positive for a big part of the world. But there is, of course, also a big opposition to it. And that's exactly where the discussions have to start. Because we could go for a vote and get the majority to vote for more competitions. But we are aware that it's more important to exchange, to discuss, and to see, and to try to convince everyone that it is important to do something more for football. Now, whether it's a World Cup every 2 years, a World Cup every 3 years, a different type of competition. We had the Confederations Cup in the past. We have to think about what is best for the development of football, and everyone has to realize that it's not of the benefit of anyone to close itself. Even if you are the biggest and the richest, it's always better to be open. It's always better to share a little bit, because those who are on the top, they will grow even more, but you give as well to all the others a chance. So we are looking at all different options. We are discussing with all confederations, with the member associations, and we will take the time that it takes. We are not in a hurry. The calendar is there till 2024. We have now a World Cup that takes place. If we find an agreement in 1 week, it's great. If we find in 1 year, it's great as well. What we want to do is to have an impact on the global football, an impact on making really football global, and we take the time it takes, again, with the utmost of understanding for all the positions, respect for everyone, respect mainly as well for the institutions, and I think this is crucial as well. We need to respect that there is FIFA, that there are confederations, that there are member associations. I said it before, that football is organized as a pyramid, that FIFA is organizing competitions between confederations competitions between associations within that continent, and associations in their own country. We need to protect this model, and we need to keep it open and to give chances to everyone to participate. Now, it's true that 100 years ago, some wise men decided that the World Cup should take place every 4 years. Times are evolving. Let's see what we can do better and how we can do better. But again, we take all the time it takes. We're not in a rush. We're not in a hurry. It's better to take a bit.
So we've got to go.
Sorry. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks. I'm sorry.